Hello everyone, welcome to our Live Ledge podcast by Solution Ideas. With me, my co-host, George. How you doing, George?
G'day, Ivy. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Ivy, we got a special guest
Yes,
here.
we do. We got a very special guest, Karen Abdallah. Karen, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me on. I'm from My Life Housing.
Thank you for being with us. So let's get into it as part of our continuation for living independently. I asked you, Karen, what exactly is SDA and how do you apply for SDA?
So SDA is, as the name says, it's Specialist Disability Accommodation, and it's purpose-built accommodation for people who need, a modified home, and usually they're things like there's no steps in the house or in the apartment, they're wider doors. They come with provisions for assistive technology, so you can operate the lights, the blinds, have people come in and out of your home, all through the use of an app, which is very useful for people that want to live independently and may or may not have support with them at all times. And so SDA, in the NDIS scheme, only about 6 or 7% of people are eligible for SDA. So it is not a huge amount of people, and there's a lot of hoops that you've got to go through to be eligible and then to apply and be on that journey. And so an SDA can be, they can take the shape of many different types of accommodation. You can have an apartment, you can have a villa, you can have a duplex, and you can have your traditional homes. So, and how do you apply? Well, first you have to be an NDIS participant. That's the first step. Once you are an NDIS participant, you need to have housing or a housing goal or plan in your NDIS plan, and normally that comes with you need to prove that you've either got high support needs or a physical impairment. So usually you align yourself with a group of people that are going to help you apply for that. So that's usually a really, really good support coordinator or a specialist support coordinator. You're going to need a very good OT, and that occupational therapist generally should have experience in achieving SDA. And so with your team of people and the evidence that you have, which is usually a functional capacity assessment, you've got some, allied health reports and your own goal. So you put all of that together and you submit it to the NDIA. And you need to have a goal that the NDIA can work with. And so if your goal is to leave a group home and live independently in an apartment, then you need to have that clearly stated in that goal. So you need to say, I want to live alone, I don't want to share, I want support when I need it, so I'm going to need on-site support, and your OT will help you write a report that actually justifies all of these criterias. So it's not a very easy process, and it can be quite long and protracted, but once you do get it, it actually can be life-changing. And as I'm sure you both know, you're in an SDA accommodation at the moment. I'm sure it's brought a lot of benefits.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's important for people with disability to be able to be part of the community and be able to live independently.
That's right.
And so Karen, when I say people with disability have the right to live independently, what does that look like?
Well, as I touched on before, it could mean that you want to live independently, but know that you've got support at hand or on site. And so a lot of people don't want support staff in their homes at 24/7. They want to be able to have friends over, invite family, and not have people around. It's nice to know that you can press a button or be able to call for help, and someone can come within the hour to assist you with whatever it is that you need. Living independently could mean that you want to get on a train and you want to be able to come out of your apartment. You want to know that you can operate the doors so that it opens. You want to know that you're not going to have to navigate any obstacles along the way, and get on a train and off you go for the day. Independence is being able to, again, put the blinds down without having to ask someone to come and do it for you, or giving access to visitors that come to your home. There's independence comes in a lot of ways. Most of the SDA apartments that we build come in, there's two factors. One is that they're in a mainstream building, so you're going to have neighbours, friends that live in the building that may not be NDIS participants. They're also very close to amenities, so you've got restaurants, you've got doctors, you've got shops, you've got the train station, bus, and I think you need to be in a location where, without support you can navigate.
Can I just come back a little bit, just adding to the complexities? Because we all know people with disabilities aren't stock standard.
No, that's right.
When we talk about accessibility, eligibility, can somebody with, marriage or a partnership move into an SDA property?
Yes, they can. And we have a lot of our participants who live with their partner and or child, provided that you have, if it's just with one other person and they can share a room, and so generally it's a partner, they're able to live with them. You may want to live with a flatmate, you may want to live with a friend, you may want to live with someone who will give you informal supports. They can live in a second bedroom as long as you are in a 2-bedroom accommodation.
So can Ivy and I share a room? Share a house?
You can. There's technicalities around that, but definitely, you could build a 2-bedroom, 2-resident home, and you both can live in your rooms have to be, SDA approved, and then the provider can tap IBI's funding and can tap your funding. But generally, people sort of have this sole occupancy model, where you can live with a partner and you pay what we call reasonable rent contribution. Your SDA is your SDA, and you can it's not impacted by who you live with.
I've got a good friend of mine, Kevin, who was, we all know, he was telling me that if I got into an SDA home and I wanted to move location in 12 months' time, that was possible.
Yes, that's correct. So you would sign, generally, your lease or your SDA agreement is 12 months, and then you, like anyone else, can choose to leave if you don't want to stay there anymore, if you're not enjoying or you're not finding the service to be, to your standards or the support that you're getting on site. Generally, though, we do find that as residents move in, there are some teething issues, just trying to get used to their space, their technology, their location, and they generally move in for the long haul. But yes, there's optionality to move to a different building, to a different location, to get a sea change, as Kevin talks about. So definitely there's that optionality.
Awesome.
Good stuff. So yeah, looks like I'll be upgrading then. No, all good. So Karen, when we talk about independence and stuff, and we talk about SDA housing, what do you think it's important for us people with disability to be a part of the community and to engage with our community? What do you think it's important for people like me and George to get on to SDA housing?
Look, I think it gives you, aside from the accommodation, it enables you to decide how much you want to engage in your local community. If I look at some of the Penrith accommodation that we have that are in buildings, I know a lot of our residents have become friends with neighbours. You guys share a lot of common areas in these buildings, and so we do a lot of, for the residents that want to mingle, We do have a lot of events where, Christmas parties, rugby league finals. I know that our SIL providers actually organise a lot of these things for the residents to partake in. But we've also found that just because you have a disability, you don't necessarily want to hang out with others that do as well. And so we respect, that type of sort of desire as well. There's a lot of our residents that don't really want to engage with others, and I think it's
that's okay.
It's okay, exactly. I don't think that, I try as much as I can not to think of the residents in a particular building as a cohort, because the only thing that they share in common is that they have a disability, nothing else. And so some residents don't want to engage at all with anyone, and others want to do as much as possible. And I think that, I know from myself, I can't speak for you or for George, but I like to engage in my local community. I can't see why anybody else wouldn't.
I agree.
And so, and SDA in the media's copped a lot of negativity around where they're being built, and in sort of rural parts of New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, these developers are getting cheap land, putting these homes up, and then wondering why no one wants to live there. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't want to live there. I think that you would. They're close to nothing. They're out in the middle of nowhere. Your independence will be diminished because you can't get out to anywhere to enjoy.
Exactly.
And transport.
Transport's huge. And so what we try and do is look at, is anything, we try and place everything that we do around 800 metres, no longer than 800 metres from a train station, because if not for you, but for the support staff that have to come to you as well, they need to be able to get, in and out of your place.
So true.
Yeah, we know with Solution Ideas, we do a lot of work with residents in SEAL properties, in SDA homes, around transport, and it's such a huge need. It's a huge need. It would be, in the disability sense, it would be the largest unmet need in the country. People with disabilities not being able to get out of the house.
Yeah.
And that's really something I admire about SDA, especially with My Life housing. They locate the properties in such an accessible place that you can live a very much independent life, Ibby. So, like where you are, you can go from your house to the shop, to the doctor.
Yeah, because I'm right in the heart of the Bankstown, so I'm connected to everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a really good place.
Near Bankstown Sporties.
Yeah, right down the road there.
And it saves you having to get in a car and go anywhere. I'm the same. I like to be close to a cafe if I want to go and have a coffee. I want to be close to, my chemist. I want to be close to a church. I think it's important because then that's how I engage with the community. And if I can avoid driving, I would, and I'm sure it's the same for anyone, whether you have a disability or not. Yeah, you want to be close and you want to be able to go there easily.
That's awesome. Well said, Karen.
I think the big thing for me with that, Karen, is these issues weren't addressed throughout the disability movement since the 1970s, 60s. We haven't addressed social planning to the correct amount, so people with disabilities can just get out of their house and walk and get a coffee, or get some groceries. Yet we have to face extreme costs of transport, extreme costs of the cost of living, and yet we're the lowest income earners. So I think I take my hat off to you and to the team. We've done a bit of work with you, Karen, and we at Solution Ideas value our involvement with My Life Housing, and our connectivity to all the other organisations that we provide service to and support. So,
Thank you, George. Yeah.
No, awesome, and just to wrap things up, if people are interested in getting SDA housing, where would they go to, or what would they contact?
Yeah, so I would start with finding. So you could start with an SDA provider, and they can start putting you into contact with support coordinators that they've dealt with and that have had good success, or a good OT. But normally you'd start with your local area coordinator or your planner, because assuming you already have an NDIS plan, it's about getting some help putting your housing goal and housing plan in there. And there's also, there's a lot of information on the NDIS website. There's also Housing Hub, which is a really, really good resource for people that are looking for SDA, and so you can actually go through and it checks, you can do a quick eligibility checker or criteria to see if you even are eligible. And then they've got some really handy tools and checklists along the way. They also provide a service where they can actually try and get SDA for you. And so there's other experts out there that when you aren't successful for SDA, they can help you try, an appeal or, go to a tribunal. There's avenues there, but there's a lot of resources, and My Life Housing is also available to help if anyone needs any support going through the journey.
So that means, Karen, if I give you a call tomorrow,
Yep, we're ready for you,
you can
George.
put me on the right track.
We're ready for you, George. You've just got to be patient because it's a long process. But if we start today, we'll have you in by next Christmas.
Oh, so it's about a 12-month.
Well, it's increasingly becoming, I'd say 6 to 9 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's still quicker than Department of Housing.
Yeah. But yeah, as long as you're eligible, which we've discussed, I think it's a matter of just going through that process, gathering your evidence, and so on. So we'll have to get you some nice accommodation for you and Bev.
I suppose for all you guys out there listening, this is a great opportunity for you. Think about your future. Think about living a future. No longer just because we have a disability are we going to take being devalued. Rather, with the help of people like Karen, the people at Solution Ideas, the other support services in the community, we are out to make a change. And the change begins with us. So, take up the challenge, guys. If you want to live independently, don't be scared anymore. There are ways, there are opportunities. Let's just have a chat.
Exactly. Your journey starts now. And I'd like to thank Karen Abdallah so much for joining us today
Thank you, Karen.
on the podcast. It's been a pleasure having you. Talk
Thanks,
about
Evie.
SDA and whatnot. And for those out there that want to live independently, your journey starts now. Thank you very much, Karen.
Thanks, Sebs.
You've been watching Live Lens by Specialist Ideas. Join us next time as we talk about more issues related to disability. For now, goodbye.
Cheers.
Goodbye.